Hi, CP.
Hi, Mummy Bear.
We have another chit-chat.
We do. It is episode 76 this time, and it's with the wonderful Steve and John from...
That's right. Brighton.
Yes, exactly.
Steve Bustin and John Williams, and they were on Gardeners World 2026, episode 12.
Yes.
When we visited their beautiful garden in Brighton. And what can you remember from that garden, Sweetpea?
Well, it was very much like an outdoor room. The house flowed into the garden.
Mm-hmm.
It was really nicely structured, lots of hard landscaping, but it still flowed really nicely.
Yep.
They had some beautiful orange chairs. I remember that.
Yes.
They have a really cute little greenhouse. It's nicely walled, and they have lots of little areas. So yeah, they have a little veg patch area that they have in raised beds. They have then lots of borders, and then they have a beautiful rill as well that flows through the garden.
Wondering when you were going to get to that.
Yeah, with a koi carp pond.
The stunning rill and ponds and flowing water, a little sort of waterfall type water feature.
Yeah.
And we hear a lot more about the rill and the pond
do.
and how it was made, what kind of materials were used, also where those materials came from.
Yes.
And also how one keeps the pond so incredibly clean, because it was immaculate.
It was.
So we find out a bit more about that.
Yeah.
We also hear a lot about the Hardy Plant Society, which unfortunately wasn't mentioned on Gardeners World. So it was really interesting to hear about the society. I hadn't heard of it prior to them being on the show.
Exactly.
And when we heard Steve talk about it and found out all about it, there is so many...
I know.
You get so much for your money.
Yeah.
Don't you, basically?
Exactly. It's absolutely fantastic. And then there's the whole thing of nerds nerding out.
Yes.
You can really deep dive into...
Nerd nights.
Yeah, nerd nights, exactly. Just have a lot of fun, deep dive into specific group of plants or whatever you're into in the gardening world.
And that actually is a term they've coined from the US in Oregon, where they have a Hardy Plant Society.
Yes.
And so they're trying to bring a bit of that over to the UK.
Yeah, absolutely.
But really, really interesting. But something else we must also mention is that their beautiful garden is open through the National Garden Scheme.
It is.
It's number 1 Belton Close in Brighton. We've put links to that on our website.
Sure.
Sweetpea, what appeals to you most about that open garden?
The cake. We've got to talk about the cake, and oh my gosh, they're already getting it ready. They have so many options. Like you have to have at least 7 slices.
So do you.
So don't eat breakfast nor lunch. Just eat cake.
I'll tell you what those cakes were. So I'll just refresh your memory. There was the lemon drizzle, the vanilla sponge with garden raspberries, double espresso Brazil nut, rose and cardamom, a Greek brownie recipe with grape molasses, Rocky Road, and a gluten-free orange and almond cake.
Mamma mia, sounds so good.
Something for everybody there. Now, in terms of noises, really pretty clear, even though we always find it harder with the sound when we've got 2 people
I know, but
on
it
the
worked
mic. But
quite well.
yeah, they did a good job there. And
they did.
They had Ari, their beautiful golden setter, who I think we see briefly on Gardeners World. Ari wanted to come inside, but then also wanted to go outside. So we hear a bit of woofles from Ari.
Yes.
But other than that, pretty clear sound.
Lovely.
And just one other thing to mention, they talked about, an inspiration for their dream gardens was a flint ha-ha.
Yes.
And they got the idea from a garden that they had visited, but they couldn't remember the name.
Yes.
That garden is, in fact, Foller's Manor in Alfriston, Sussex. However, Steve found out that it's not actually visible anymore.
Oh.
But next best thing, Sweetpea.
Next best thing.
If you've got a cool 3.25 million, you could just buy the place. Then you can check it out every day for the rest of your life.
Simple.
But we'll put a link to that in case anyone is wanting to buy the property. You can find that on our webpage.
Oh, great.
So in terms of things that we talked about on the episode, they will all go onto our website. So you just need to go to notjustagarden.co.uk.
Exactly.
Click on Chit-Chats, go to Steve and John's face, click on their face, and whammo. There you have
whammo.
links to all the things we talked about
Exactly.
And a few visuals to some of the audio.
Yes, which is very important, especially for their crazy dream gardens.
Yes, absolutely. Now, Sweetpea, tell us the format.
So, for Steve and John's separate but slightly coming together dream garden, we have garden boundaries, shed or greenhouse, 5 ornamentals, 5 edibles, 1 statement tree, pond or pool plus 1 plant, and fairly favourite seating area, drink, and 1 plant for that area.
That's it. We get quite an amalgamation of locations, don't we, in this one?
My notes were crazy.
So if you have any questions or comments or anything we've chatted about, please do get in touch. You can do that through the contacts page on our website, which is
notjustagarden.co.uk,
or you can contact us through our email address, which is
notjustagarden@outlook.com.
Right, sweetie, shall we have a look at this episode?
Absolutely.
This is episode 76, a good old chit-chat with Steve Bustin and John Williams.
Off we go.
Welcome, Steve and John, to a good old chit-chat.
Lovely to be here. Thank you for asking us.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for joining us. We did attempt this the other week, but you broke down on the side of the road and couldn't make it back in time.
Unfortunately not.
We did.
Something to do with clutch nuts.
On the way back from a garden as well. Yes.
Oh, really? Which garden was that?
We were at Fairlight's End in Pett near Hastings, which is a spectacular garden.
Is that
part wild and meadow and part really, really well ordered like a parterre. It's glorious.
Lovely.
Really glorious.
Is that sort of a stately home type place?
No, it's a farmhouse with a very, very big garden, I suppose, about an acre.
At least.
Oh, yeah. Maybe a couple of acres, but it's just gloriously managed and
beautiful.
Yeah. So very, very close to the Sussex-Kent border.
Right. A lot of nice things down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, good place to find all your gardens, I think.
Which is not a great place to break down.
No.
Not a great place. We really felt for you, but I'm glad your car's sorted now. Well, we saw you guys on Gardeners World this year, episode 12, when you showed us around your beautiful garden, and it was sort of all geared around having had this new extension built and how you this sort of outdoor room that you had created. We talked about, it was so pristine, we talked about whether or not you vacuum cleaned out there.
We don't.
You assured us you
I'd
don't.
be open to it though. I do like it.
You should.
I do like it to be tidy. Yeah.
Could you just refresh our listeners' memories of what that garden looks like?
Sure. So it's very much a city garden because we are sort of fairly central in Brighton. And it's an L-shaped garden around, we're an end of terrace house. And then we put a big black metal and glass extension on the side of the house. And we were able to take the garden right back to bare soil, which was in many ways a real treat. Although some people were like, oh my God, you're taking apart the old garden. And it's like, well, yeah, but actually that allows us to do something new.
What was the old garden like?
So the old garden was, I suppose, much more traditional. It was really where I learned to garden.
It was a really traditional garden. It had a really deep herbaceous border down one side, sort of almost 3 meters deep, which the builders had left with some very boring plants in, like supermarket car park shrubs.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we would never have dared dig anything that deep.
No.
So it was just really great to have it. And Steve filled it with beautiful plants over 10, 15 years.
So you cut your teeth on that.
And the lawn got smaller and smaller and smaller.
Yes.
And I would come out and think, oh,
where's the lawn?
Oh, there's less than there used to be.
I sort of nibbled at the edges quite extensively. But we had a lawn, which we no longer have, and then greenhouse, vegetable beds and all that sort of stuff. It was a bit more
It was a trad garden.
Yeah.
It was a small trad garden.
Right.
And it was stuffed with colour and texture, but it was a really trad garden.
Yes.
So when we knew that we were going to have the extension built, we actually had a day where we invited neighbours to come and dig up plants.
Wow.
To take them away. So I took out what I wanted. So I'd taken out Elytrum and Perovskias and snowdrops. In fact, I'd taken out snowdrops about a year, if not 18 months earlier. And then we had a day where we said, bring your own tools, bring your own pots. If you want it, you have to dig it up. And we charged £4 per plant or £10 if you wanted one of the big shrubs or whatever.
And they dug them up.
And we made over £800. Which was great. So that paid for all the new plants in the new garden.
But as they got further towards the back of the bed, people were holding things up saying, what is this? And Steve was saying, oh, I'd forgotten we had that.
Yeah, we excavated plants at the back.
Yeah.
But also it was lovely because now we know where some of those plants are. So people still say to us, "Oh, your hellebores are in flower."
Oh,
and it's
nice.
They're not our hellebores, they're your hellebores now. But it's nice. And there was a bamboo that came out of our garden that was in a pot up the road for years.
Yeah.
So the garden. So we then took the garden right back to bare soil. The treat being that, of course, we know it intimately. So we knew where the shady bits were. We knew where the hot bits were. We knew where the dry bits were. So we could sort of plan accordingly. We did work with a garden designer. So he did the hard landscaping. And I was a bit dubious at first, but I'm really glad we did, because he looked at it as a blank canvas. I would have been looking at it still through the lens of the old garden and that could stay there and that maybe should work there. He walked in the gate and just went, well, we need to turn the greenhouse to 90 degrees. And as soon as he said it, I thought, you're absolutely right, we do.
Yeah.
And then he designed the hard landscaping to quite a detailed brief from us.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm designing the planting. So we then spent that money we'd made from selling off the old plants on the new plants.
What a great shopping trip that was at the garden.
Yeah.
So with £800 in your back pocket. And how much of the original garden did the extension take out?
Hard to say. I mean,
about half of it?
Probably about
20%.
20%.
20%.
Okay.
There was a shed. There was a big shed.
Oh, okay.
Where pretty much where the extension is.
So just replace that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's nice,
What it did was it changed the relationship between the house and garden.
Yeah.
So in the old house, the kitchen dining room was at the front, and the garden was at the back and maybe the side. So if you had people around, you were really separated out. So the idea was to turn it around, and the sitting room was a bit small and north facing and not terribly pleasant to look at the garden. So the whole idea was to turn the inside of the house around and build that direct relationship.
Yeah. So you've got the kitchen now flows out into the garden.
It's in the back.
With a dining area out there.
Yeah, and the sitting room. Yeah.
So we've got lots of glass. Yeah. We pulled the blind back so you could see us against the light, but there's the garden's right behind us. So there's two sets of big double doors in here, so you can just open them all up and just walk straight out into the garden.
Bliss. I really do love that. Which is lovely. Do you get very hot in there with all the glass, or is it okay?
It's okay. It's clever, so it's triple glazed and it has coatings on it and gas in it. In the winter it does a thing of capturing the heat, and in the summer it repels the heat.
Wow.
It is immensely clever.
But also the two big double doors are facing north.
Okay,
so that's we have a sort of glazed box at the end of the building, and that does get some sun, which is really cleverly done.
Yeah.
Oh, great! So you're not sweltering away. And it was it was clad from memory with a black corrugated vibe.
Yeah, corrugated, like it's barn cladding.
Yeah. Okay.
So there was a market garden on this site going back to sort of for about 100 years, running up to the 1950s. So it was sort of a nod to that. It was also because we had a quote for having zinc, and that was way too expensive. Whereas black, actually, it's barn cladding, but it works really well.
It was from it's from a company in Somerset, I think, and they make barns and sheds. It came from them.
Yeah. And that was pretty economical to do it like that then.
Oh, astonishingly so.
So top tip. Yes. And also the black's nice, isn't it, for sort of offsetting?
Yes.
It's a really good foil. I think people are scared of black in a garden, but it's a really good foil for a lot of plants and things. So we've embraced it quite a lot.
Actually. And it does that disappearing thing. It's sort of, recedes so you can really see what's in front of it.
Yeah. And then so you've got that the black cladding. Then also, did I read correctly that you've got a part of Brighton Pier in your garden? Is that right?
We've actually got two different bits of metalwork in the garden that came from Brighton's West Pier, because Brighton had two piers. West Pier burnt down a couple of fires in the early 2000s, but the West Pier Trust salvaged a lot of stuff literally off the seabed and sort of took what they could off the wreck. And it sat underneath the promenade for a long time, basically getting covered in pigeon dung. And then they had a sale, and this is going back 15 plus years now. And you could go you had to be able to get it out. It was a bit like us with the plant set. It's like we had to, you had to go and rummage through it. Yeah. So we've got what was a part of the balustrade, like a fence panel, which is on the back wall, and then we've got what would have been a seat back, but actually one end of it was rusted, so we've turned it from horizontal to vertical, sunk it into the ground, and that's now a trellis with it's got a euonymus growing up it.
What a lovely idea!
Lovely.
Yeah, and actually we're in the house. We've also got a light fitting in the extension made of floorboards from the West Pier that we found in a salvage yard.
Crikey, who made it into a light fitting?
A friend of ours who works with wood, although he said he broke several drill bits because the wood is so thick and so strong, as it had to be.
Yeah.
And it took 3 men an entire day to hang it, because we had to get a structural engineer to check the house could take the weight, because the wood is down, it's not mahogany, but it's an old hardwood. It's extraordinary.
How fantastic to have those items in
and we're both members of the West Pier Trust. And, and
lots of
it's just nice to be able to sort of keep them and enjoy them now. So yeah.
And then also in your garden, so a lot of, basically there's no lawn now at all, is there?
No.
So it's tiled
I don't miss
flooring.
mowing it.
No, I can imagine. And so describe the flooring. Is it tiles that you have down, or is it something else?
It is. It's porcelain. It's a pale porcelain. It's of London stone, I think.
Yeah.
And actually, it's funny, we went down, when we were planning the garden, we went to one of their showrooms, which was a bit of a step away, walked into the showroom and both just went, that one. And it was virtually the cheapest in the shop.
Which is really unlike us.
Yes,
really unlike us, yeah.
Well done.
But it was straight away we're like, that's the one.
Yeah.
And it has a non-slip
I was just going to ask if that gets slippery. Right.
Yeah.
And then that stone lines, you have a rill running through the garden? Is it the same
so
stone?
the rill is also lined with porcelain, also from London stone, but it's designed to look like Corten steel.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yes, that's coming.
So it lines the small pond that the blade drops into, and then there's a big wall, sort of a sort of ornamental wall at the end of the rill. That's with this big, and the tiles were enormous,
really
huge tiles.
So 2 by 1 meter.
Yeah. Enormous. And the wall is covered with 2 of those, and then they cut them up to make the rill, and then the big pond where the rill disappears into. And
you've got fish
that's
in there.
also lined with the same thing.
And the shed is hidden behind those 2 big
walls.
Oh, yes, right. That's what's behind that.
So a lot of people assume it's Corten steel, but it's actually porcelain designed to look like Corten.
I think now from memory, we thought it was Corten steel.
Yeah, it's really clever.
But tell me, how do you keep that water so immaculately clean? What's your secret?
So when Steve said there needed to be water, I was like, absolutely fine, yes. And then a pond, at which point I said, okay, so the pond is your business. That's yours. You look after it. And I've rigorously stuck to my decision making. I offer moral support.
Yes.
I make tea.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So once a year, normally the Easter weekend, I drain the whole system, and it's one of those jobs, because you have to take the fish out of the big pond, put them in a bucket. Once you've started, you have to see it through. You can't just stop halfway through and leave it until the following day.
The poor fish.
So drain the whole system. You have to get into the big pond at the end, get all the sludge out of the bottom, clean all the filters. The filters are revolting. So I do that once a year. The reel itself, actually now once a week. At the moment, I'm having to just go across it with a scouring pad once a week just to keep the algae down. And then in the shed, there's a big filter bucket, and there's a handle, and you rotate the handle, you divert the flow into the flower bed with a hose, and you actually clean the filters, and it just rotates the filters. There's a UV light in there as well. I mean, it's quite a sophisticated system.
You do that quite regularly.
Yeah, I try and do that. Well, in theory, once a month. It's more like once every couple of months, but.
Right.
So
that keeps the algae at bay.
And that keeps the algae down. I do have to clean the actual reel itself. I do have to clean. It does get green a bit. The water stays clear. It actually just adheres to the porcelain, and also because we do have fish in the big pond, which I hadn't intended to, but the very first summer we had it, there were very clearly larvae of biting insects on the edges of the water. Ooh. And I went to our local aquatic shop and said, how do I get rid of that? And she said, oh, don't put chemicals in, get fish.
Yeah.
She said, put them in, don't feed them for the first week. And sure enough, they ate the lot.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. But of course, fish, because I put fish food in, and of course the fish poo. So that adds to the nutrition in the water.
Yeah.
So
more
I have to be
cups
careful.
of tea from John. And...
Yeah. So it is a bit of a pain, but it is lovely. And it is, it's probably sort of the main feature in the garden, if you like. It's the bit everybody looks at when they come in.
Was that what was providing the white noise?
Yeah.
Which is such a great idea.
I'll be honest, we hadn't planned that for that. I mean,
don't
but
say
it is,
that.
Yeah,
Plan.
I know, absolutely. Yeah, genius, you see. But Yeah, it absolutely does. It creates enough white noise that if we're sat in the garden, we can't hear conversations going on elsewhere, and other people can't hear us as clearly. It just gives you that little bit more privacy.
Yeah.
And in fact, we'd originally thought the rill would sort of burble, and in fact, the drop is a bit further than we originally planned. So it's more of a splash. But that gives us a slightly higher noise level. And we can even play around with the flow rate, which changes the note. It's really interesting. And we come to the conclusion we prefer a lower note. So we actually have a faster flow rate,
right,
which gives a lower note to the noise. It's
interesting.
Spotty, but quite fun.
But this hot summer, sat under the parasol at the dining table with the tinkling and splosh of the water.
It's lovely.
You could almost be in Crete.
Yeah.
There's a lovely microclimate around it, particularly at the small pool. Yeah.
And the dog does drink from it. She doesn't actually, I thought she'd paddle in it. She doesn't particularly, but she certainly drinks from the pond.
She puts the front paws in
and
then has a good drink.
Yeah. That's very sensible. Do you paddle in it?
I do.
Occasionally
I sit on the edge and put my feet in the
I'd be doing that. Nice glass of wine, my feet in the water. Sounds ideal.
The big pond is quite deep though, so
I
am cautious with a glass of wine. I don't go too close to it.
How deep are we talking?
It's basically a sort of cubic meter. I think it's actually slightly deeper than that.
I think it's about 4 feet deep.
Yeah. So, I mean, I certainly have to get down into it when I'm cleaning. And it has a full space, which is another big part of this porcelain tile. That has to be lifted out. And then there's another 1.5 feet underneath.
What does the full space do?
It basically allows the pump is underneath the full space. You can't see the pump. And I suppose it makes it look neater and cleaner. And I've now added a water lily, which sits on the full space, and then that now floats on the surface, which is lovely. But it hasn't flowered yet. Funny, it hasn't. We've had a couple of years. It's lots of leaf and no flower.
It's looking pretty, but flower would
next year perhaps. Is that the only plant you have in the water?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not big enough to. We've tried water lettuce in the past, partly to give some shade to the fish, and they just eat it.
Okay, well, at least they benefited.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's true.
Now, you also talked about your dahlias, which were on great form. One of the questions I had around those was whether you were digging them up. What's your climate like in Brighton? Are you pretty safe from?
We're pretty safe because we're coastal.
Yeah,
I think. I mean, last winter we had one frost. I think the pond froze over one day. So what we tend to do is empty the tomato grow bags on top of the tubers.
Right,
which keeps the beds topped up anyway.
Yeah,
and that's just enough of a blanket.
Yeah,
I did lose one this year, which I think was rot rather than because we had such a wet winter. But cold here is not really an issue.
That's not your issue. So, what range are you looking at in Brighton?
It rarely drops below zero. It's because we're coastal and also just because the climate has changed.
But what about the other end?
I mean, we've had 35, 36 this year during the heat waves. Normally it's a bit more temperate. I mean, it's been sort of low 20s this week, which is nice. So that's pretty standard.
Yeah. And how close are you to the sea?
We're about 1.5 miles inland. We're directly inland from Brighton Pier, the one that still exists.
Yeah.
So about 1.5 miles.
Yeah. It's about 15 minutes walk just down the hill and straight to the pier.
So we are at the top of a hill. We are at the top of one of the first hills as you sort of come up out of.
Bit tough for getting back home then.
Yeah.
Now, you also were showing us your veg. I think, John, you were showing a bit more around there, weren't you?
Yes.
And you were talking about your tomatoes. Have they struggled? You said it got quite hot last year. How have they been this year?
This year is very satisfying. So they're in pots for the first time. I've always used thick grow bags. The heat over the last 3 years and peat-free grow bags are not a really great combination.
It wasn't working.
So I found it really difficult to keep them hydrated.
Understand that.
So I put them in 15 litre, 11 litre pots.
11 litre pots.
11 litre pots, nice square 11 litre pots. So they look neat. I quite like that.
Yeah.
And they're doing well. Yes, we've had fruit already. Given that they're heirloom varieties, they're doing their weird twisty things. But,
that's great though.
But they're doing really well, and they're heaps better than last year. So I have high hopes.
So it's a good year for them. Are they
I
tasting
have
good?
high hopes. Yeah, for tastiness.
Yeah.
Great,
fantastic. And John, we noticed after the episode, I think both of you put some posts on. First of all, you had a drinking game. For the episode, which really tickled me. And also you talked about the Hardy Plant Society, which you said in your post, it had talked about because we hear that the camera crew's there all day from sort of 8 a.m. till quite late in the evening, and obviously it's only a little 7 or 8 minute segment, so they can't squeeze it all in. But they certainly didn't talk about the Hardy Plant Society.
No, which was frustrating in a way, because that's how they came to us. Actually, every now and again they contact, I think, a lot of the garden societies and say, we're looking for this type of garden. So last year they were looking for Mediterranean gardens. This year, well, last year now, I suppose, they came looking for city gardens, and the person who looks after our PR was like, Steve, this is yours. So they came to us through the HPS, and then all the way through the sort of, pre-production and discussions and things. They were like, we love the fact you're chair of the Hardy Plant Society. And then we filmed it during the interview section, and we talked about it. And then I tried getting a second mention in later on.
Johnny was like, once, you've had one.
You're not allowed another one.
No more.
Yeah, because I was picking up and talking about a plant that I had won in a raffle at a Hardy Plant Society event. So I thought, try to get a second mention. Stop me. I had to retake it.
Oh no, they were onto you.
But then they didn't use it at all, and we got an email from the production team a couple of days later, I suppose on the Monday after it was shown on the Friday, just saying, were you happy with it? And I went back saying, lovely piece, disappointed there was no mention of the charity, because that's how you found me, and that was sort of the agreement. And I actually then got an email from the editor, the whole series editor, saying, she said it was just a decision in the edit suite. They'd originally sort of planned to include it, but they said as we were editing it, it very much became this piece about urban gardens, lifestyle, house, outside room sort of stuff. And I can sort of see, so it didn't talk that much about plants.
Yeah.
It talked as much about how we live in it and the rill and all that sort of stuff. Because I had shot a whole sequence about torbagias, we'd shot a sequence about aeoniums, and none of that got used. So it was actually, ironically, it was John who ended up talking more about plants.
Ironically.
Excuse me, the other one, you described me as head gardener.
Yes.
But it was, so, but they have said that they would love to do something about the Hardy Plant Society at a later date, and it's our 70th anniversary next year, so I'm guessing we may end up doing something with them then.
Oh, that would be good timing, wouldn't it?
So,
because it's not, I understand the BBC and sort of advertising and all that, but it's a charity, so you can talk about charities, can't you?
You can.
There's plenty of that going on.
Yeah.
There was a piece, it would have been at the end of last year, there was a guy who was growing ferns. And it was quite astonishing. His garden was full of ferns. So he was collecting fern seed and growing them, which takes sort of 500,000 years. But he I think was chair or belonged to the British Fern Society. And Steve and I were going, yes, it's a charity. But even, it's funny, I've had chats with people from Plant Heritage and the National Garden Scheme, and they've all said they all have the same problem, that garden as well. They might give one mention a series.
It's a bit sporadic. The National Garden Scheme, because that's something we picked up on when we started doing the recaps. We started noticing how many gardens come from the NGS. And never did they mention it. And then there was a brief spell where Monty would then mention it in his little outro at the end. And he said, if you do want to, you can go to... And then I think he even says you can go to the BBC website to get access. So we went to the BBC website and couldn't find anything about the NGS on it. So
because I quite often, when we're watching, we go, ooh, that looks interesting. Where is it? And, lovely Gardener's World, Herefordshire, and poof, there they are. But I do think they could say, because the NGS is a completely good thing. It doesn't make any money for anybody. It gives millions of pounds away and should be being promoted absolutely bloody everywhere.
And I think and I think actually would tie in very well with the BBC's remit around education and information and all this stuff. And I did say to the I was a BBC journalist many years ago.
Okay.
And I said to them, I get it. I understand the whole thing about, not being able to advertise or whatever. But I said, actually, if something is contextual, you can mention it. And I think the fact that they were in my garden, I'm the chair of the Hardy Plant Society, and I have lots of hardy plants, was contextual. And I think they could have had mentioned, but I can see how the story develops in the edit. And again, I've been there. I've spent far too many hours of my life in edit suites, and I know how when you're putting something together, suddenly a different story starts to emerge.
Yeah.
It was interesting, and it was odd watching it because we knew it was going to be in that episode, and you're just waiting for Monty to say, and now we're going to Brighton. And he said it, you're like, oh, there you are on your edge of the seat, waiting to see what's going to be shown. So that there was that, and it was filmed a year ago, so you'll remember. I could just remember the bits I wasn't very good at, and I was
we always remember those bits. Yeah.
And then as it was showing, as it was playing, I thought, oh, this is really not what I was expecting, and it sort of wasn't what was commissioned and what we delivered. And you always have the two people, if it's two, sat on chairs talking at the welcome to our garden, oh, we love it because. So we'd done quite a lot of that, but they'd taken the soundtrack off that and laid it over other film.
Okay.
So while it was going on, my head was going, oh, they're doing that. And so when you're watching it, you have no idea what's going to come up next. And it was completely different.
Yeah.
But I mean, several people have asked, did we get to see rushes? Did we even get editorial control? And it's like, nope.
No chance.
Not a bit of it. Although it's interesting because actually the garden's going to be featured in the Garden magazine in September.
Oh, great.
And actually for that, we were sent draft, quite an early stage. We were then sent the layouts because we were invited to make any corrections or whatever. So we did actually get to see that. So that was very different. But the BBC aren't going to give you editorial control. I get that.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, it's sort of like all those reality TV programs, and people come out. There's the whole story of how you'll get
in the edit, isn't it?
It's all in the edit. And that's what you always hear. So there's that whole argument. The other thing is also, if Gardener's World involved every single guest that they had on in the edit, it's going to take them forever, isn't it?
You couldn't do it. And also, everybody have a view about how they want it to be portrayed. And you can't do that. And I say,
absolutely,
with my BBC background, I absolutely
get
that.
But
it was interesting. It wasn't quite the piece we expected. And I was, I was disappointed about the charity thing, but it was a really fun piece to do.
Yeah.
It was, I'm glad they were featuring an urban garden and a small garden, because so many of the gardens, including Monty's, are these enormous gardens that are completely unrealistic for most people.
Exactly.
And actually, a number of people have been in touch saying, oh, I was really inspired by the rill, or by the way you used a Rondo-Donax, or the way you put so much into a small garden thing. So that was really nice.
Yeah. And also, there's this great website which kind of collates all of these things called notjustagarden.co.uk. If you head over there, you'll find all this information brought together for you. So next time, John, when you see a garden on there and you want to find it, just pop over onto that website. You'll find it all right there for you.
Nice plug.
Yes. Yes, who knew?
Advertising.
Who knew? That's amazing. Yeah.
Well, so in terms of the Hardy Plant Society, I went and then had a look at the website. First of all, so I think I mentioned I couldn't get on it at first and you were having a bit of trouble with it. But
by complete fluke, we'd had a security attack that day. So our web guy had put up a barrier just because it was being bombarded by spam bots. So apologies for that. But it is up now.
But what I love about it is it's a really beautiful website. It reminds me of Dorling Kindersley books.
Yeah. I think that's quite a good comparison, actually.
Beautiful images on it. But can you tell us now all about the Hardy Plant Society?
Yes.
So the Hardy Plant Society is the UK's largest specialist plant group. We have about 4,000 members right across the UK and some overseas. Ooh. And within the membership, we have I think it's currently 39 local groups around the UK, and they all meet. Most of them meet monthly, perhaps not over the summer, and they have a talk and piece of cake and a plant stall and raffles and all that sort of stuff. We also have 7 special interest groups, which are nationwide, and I now have to try and remember what they are, having said 7. Shade and woodland, variegated plants, galanthus, pulmonarias, peonies, hardy geraniums, and ranunculacea.
Right, okay.
So those are really specialist groups for people who are into very specific plant groups. I'm in the shade and woodland group because we have a shady bed which I was struggling with, so I joined the group, and not only did I get advice, somebody actually gave me plants. Which was great.
Very good.
One of our Surrey colleagues is, I think she might be chair of the Galanthus, and she's got a fabulous garden north of Brighton, and she's like the earliest in the year. It opens January, February. She's got over 300
snowdrops.
Right.
Snowdrops.
Yeah.
And they are just exquisite.
Yeah. In what sort of size garden are we talking?
Small suburban garden.
Really?
It's not a big garden at all.
Wow.
But it's built on a hill, so it is, the garden's on the slight hill, so it's on the terrace. So actually the snowdrops are quite close to you when you walk around.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Oh, lovely. I love that.
Yeah. So the Hardy Plant Society has been going 69 years. So we hit our 70th anniversary next year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is great. We have a journal called The Hardy Plant, which is very well thought of, and a publication called Cornucopia, which is a roundup of the best writing from across all our groups. Mm-hmm. But I think the reason a lot of people join is because we have a seed distribution scheme. So every year, lots of our members donate seed from their garden, which goes to a big group of volunteers who then sift it and package it and clean it. And then we issue a seed list in November, and people can then order the seed they'd like from the seed list.
Oh,
and then that gets posted out in January.
And it's free.
No, if you pay when you pay postage, the seeds are free.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, wow.
And that I know is a big draw for a lot of people.
Yeah, of course.
Because you suddenly get access. Last year, because you can apply for lots of things, and you get your first choice and second choice. And I applied there was seeds of Wollemi pine, and I just thought that would be amazing to try and grow that from seed.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I didn't get it. I don't think they had very much.
Well, that's interesting because we chatted to
John Massey's garden.
John Massey's garden. Do you know John Massey's garden? And he did a blog on how to grow these pines from seed, and it's actually he makes it sound a lot easier than we are led to believe. Yeah. And actually said there are so many around the country, and that they're not as rare now as we once thought, but they are magnificent trees.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got nowhere to put one. But
fun to
grow from seeds.
Don't let that stop you. That stopped you.
Exactly.
Do you pay like a monthly subscription?
So it's an annual subscription. It's £27 a year to join, which gets you all the publications and it gets you access to the seed list and all this sort of stuff. If you then want to join a local group or a special interest group, they all have an extra subscription. Most of them charge some of them charge £5, £10. I think a couple of them are 20, but it's not hugely expensive.
No.
So I mean, I've often described it as British gardening's best kept secret.
Yeah.
Because it's a very friendly group, but it's a group of experts. It's really interesting. Our tagline is people with a passion for plants, and it's lots of people who are really, fascinated, deeply expert around particular plant groups. So like the plant stalls at events are always tremendous because lots of people bring in plants that you're just never going to see in a nursery or certainly not a garden centre.
With all the information about, behaviour, and where they're best placed, how best to look after them. And they're all
it's ideal, isn't it?
They're all grown on local soils.
Yes, exactly.
And it's pretty much going to be good. Yeah.
So when I was looking, the piece of the West Pier that we have as a trellis is on a north-facing fence, and I hadn't realised it actually gets no direct sun. Ooh. So I was really struggling. I couldn't get a clematis to grow up it because it just wasn't getting enough sun. I couldn't get it to get tall enough to get its head into the sun.
Yeah.
So I put a note in our Shade and Woodland group's Facebook group saying, I've got this piece of trellis, I had a photo of it, really struggling to get anything to grow up it because it's north facing. Any ideas? And somebody came straight back and said, you want Euonymus fortunii Wulong Ghost. And I'm like, I want what?
Excuse me?
Yes, yeah. So Euonymus fortunii Wulong's Ghost. And she said, it's a slow grower, it'll take a while. But she said, if you can find it, it'll absolutely do what you want it to do. And she said, and it's got a really lovely silver vein. And then by complete chance, about a month later, I saw her at a Hardy Plant Society event, and bless her, she had a plant for me that she had taken from her garden. Yep.
Wow.
So it is now in sight, and it is now about 2/3 of the way up.
It's looking trellis. Really good.
And it's a beautiful, it's an evergreen. It's got beautiful silver veining to the leaf.
Yeah.
So actually in a shady corner, it's not going to flower because that's not what it does.
Yeah. No.
But it's got great interest. It's got real lovely texture.
It's quite discreet, but it's really elegant.
Yeah.
Lovely.
And that's the sort of thing that I would never have been able to find. If you go to a garden centre and say, what can I grow up a shady trellis? They're going to struggle. But it was lovely to, the fact she turned up with a plant.
Absolutely.
It was a few years ago, we opened our garden, the Sussex group. We're both members of the Sussex Hardy Plant Society group as well. And they do a thing over the summer called Talking Plants, where they go around and visit members' gardens. About 12 people turn up on a weekday morning, and they all bring their own mug with a piece of paper in it that says what they want to drink. So it'll say, tea, white, 2 sugars, and things like that. So you know what you're making.
So you don't have to do the washing up.
And they take the mugs away. It's great. But they turned up, and this again is going back 12, 13 years or more.
It'd be the old garden.
Yeah, very much the old garden. And I was bemoaning an area outside our gate in a sort of communal car park area that is dry shade, and I'm saying I cannot get anything to grow here, and it's bare, and I really dislike it. And then the following day, there was a knock on the door, and there was a woman on the doorstep called Pat Ashby with a tray of plants, and she just went, "These will all grow there."
Oh.
And it's funny, we plant about, we've still got some of them now. There's a couple of asters still around, and a couple of brugmansias, and we think of it, in fact, Pat is no longer with us, and we sort of think of it as the Pat Ashby Memorial Garden. Because she just, and it was just like completely unprompted. And in fact, she didn't even live that close to Brighton. She'd come all the way back into town to give us this tray of plants because she'd heard me say, I don't know what to grow. So that was lovely.
Completely tailored for your garden.
Yeah, but that to me is the sort of the heart of the Hardy Plant Society, is that people want to share their expertise and their knowledge, but also their plants.
Yeah.
And that's I think that's a really positive thing. So,
and you said
I'm a better gardener for having been a member, and we've seen some duff talks, but that's going to happen with any gardening group.
But other people have liked them, but they've been somewhere I've just thought, really?
Yes.
How do you sneak out of those ones?
Hardy geranium.
Do
you know, that's so funny you said that, because that was on Gardener's World this week, Monty showing how he was cutting back his hardy geraniums. And I said to Sweetpea,
not again.
He's been doing this a lot. There have been a good few episodes where Monty's been cutting back his hardy geraniums. It seems to be a big topic. We get it. Cut them back, okay?
Yes, cut them out.
Cut them out. You're not a fan. I'm a huge fan, so I'll take yours.
Yeah, fair. You can have them all. I just don't get it. I think they're a really lovely, pretty background plant.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't understand the interest.
Right. So those talks, how do you sneak out of them? Do you sort of duck down on the floor and commando roll out the back?
I sit at the back and I have Kindle on my phone.
Okay. Watching the footy? Or, I don't know.
I'm reading a book.
Yeah. Reading a book. Okay. Yeah. And you said it's the best kept secret. Why is that on purpose?
No, not at all. In fact, it's one of the big things at the moment is to raise the profile. I think it's partly because it's I'm going to say it's a slightly old-fashioned society, in as much as a lot of plant societies, I think, are still, they're run by people who are retired, and I think all the plant societies are struggling with an aging membership. The majority of our members are retired. There's no doubt about it, and with that comes perhaps a slightly less knowledge of digital ways of working, communication. Facebook groups are still a bit revolutionary. When I started talking about Instagram and TikTok, they all looked at me as if I was mad.
Oh my God.
But it's it's getting better. We've got we've got younger members joining and things now, but I think it's just been the groups. They've carried on meeting. They've had a lovely time. And I think a lot of them have suddenly gone, oh, okay, actually our membership is starting to dwindle. How do we address that? And that, I think it's better to say that is true of all the plant societies. And there are about 70 plant societies in the UK. The RHS keep a list, and that can be everything from the Fern Society, the Alpine Plant Society, the Hardy Plant Society, right through to, there are some tiny ones. There's the New Zealand and Australasian Plant Society, and there are some really, really tiny ones. And I think some of them really struggle to keep going. Yeah. So it's there's a lot of people who've come into gardening in the last few years, and it's letting them know that there are these societies and these groups where they can come and learn, and they can come and deepen their knowledge, and perhaps discover a real passion for a particular plant. Yeah, and they might come away with plants and as well as knowledge.
Yeah, just enjoy it. It's
and I think people have got into the habit now of if they want knowledge, they've got a question about gardening, they go to YouTube or Instagram.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
and so we're looking at the moment about how do we reach those people for whom the idea of going to a village hall on a Sunday afternoon to watch a talk is just an anathema.
How do you address that?
We're looking at we've just started doing some online talks. Tom Stewart Smith gave us a very good online talk a few months back. We've got another one coming up later in the summer, and actually quite a lot of our older members like the online talks because they all quite enjoyed them during lockdowns because they didn't have to leave the house.
And they prefer them they quite like them in the winter when it's filthy and
they don't have to drive in the dark.
So that's understandable.
I mean, we have to look at we have to make sure we serve our existing members as well as chasing younger members. And there's a balance to be struck. I think it is we're now much more active on Instagram. we are...
It's hard work though, isn't it?
Oh, it is. Yeah, it really is. We had a very, very good Instagram volunteer who was brilliant, and unfortunately she's had to step away, and I'm sort of doing what I can, and a couple other people. It's not as... It is hard work to keep it really active. And
you have to keep at it all the time.
Yeah, you really do.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
But it's also looking at what else, what do younger gardeners want, and how do they want to be getting information, and it's maybe, I think it's us going to them rather than expecting them to come to us. So in the way that they wouldn't necessarily come to a village hall, where are they going? We should go there and be there with them.
I think there's colleges offer a real opportunity. So both young people on vocational qualifications, but every horticulture college runs adult education and RHS qualifications. So you've actually got a group of people who are self-identifying as interested enough to be following a qualification to improve their skills. And really, they're there to go and talk to and offer the social network.
Yeah,
I can see us getting to a point where we sort of run two programs side by side. The sort of what the older members love and have been doing for years and want to carry on doing, but also perhaps newer offerings for a younger audience and for people who really want to discover more about plants.
Yeah. And just one other thing before we get on to your dream gardens, which I'm dying to hear. You mentioned also you've got some set up abroad.
Yeah, so we do have quite a number of members overseas. About I think it's about 8 to 10% of our members are overseas. Quite a number in northern France, but also scattered all over the world. I think some of them are people who were members in the UK and have then moved.
Yeah.
But also we have people who just love the English approach to gardening. There are quite a number of hardy plant societies in the US. They don't have an umbrella organisation in the way that we're structured. So actually, we've been talking to the Hardy Plant Society of Oregon, and they're huge, and they run plant nerd nights where they find the expert on a particular plant, and they all get together and nerd out about that particular plant. I think
brilliant.
That's a great idea.
Yes,
and I love the way they use the language. And, who wouldn't want to go to a plant nerd night?
Absolutely. I'm sold already.
Maybe not on hardy geraniums, but
okay.
But we've been talking to them about possibly doing a joint event online, although it would be a tea time event for us and a breakfast event for them.
Oh, that's tricky, isn't
because of the time difference. But we do reach out, and because a lot of people go on plant hunting holidays, all that sort of stuff. So a lot of the reports that come into our journal, people who garden overseas or garden in very different conditions. We've had a bursary scheme which helped to fund people to go and do research into certain horticultural topics overseas and things. So cool. There are ways that we can help to support people to build international relations and things, which is great.
So, Steve and John, let's have a look at your dream garden. So, start off with the garden boundary. Who would like to go first?
I think, we've joked about this already.
Yeah.
I think the dream boundary would be a ha-ha.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. For both of you.
Yeah.
A ha-ha on 3 sides and a moat. I think.
Absolutely. Actually, I love Corten steel, and I think any dream garden for me would have Corten steel as not necessarily a whole boundary. That might be a bit much, but I think certainly as part of a boundary.
Still with the ha-ha, or instead of a ha-ha?
That would be good, wouldn't it? But yes, I think on certain boundaries, Corten steel would be great. The other thing I was thinking about, if you were to clad a boundary, I think it would be amazing if you had a long enough boundary to have a wall of clematis where there was at least one in flower in every month. Because I know you can do it.
There are
clematis available that do flower, or obviously the winter flowering ones. So that would be quite interesting, just to have a wall of clematis where there's one, at least one that's flowering every single month.
Yes, absolutely. What a great idea. So would that be on a wall, or are you still thinking on the Corten steel?
I think probably on a wall. I think the Corten would be too hot, actually.
Yeah, we're thinking about it.
But on a wall, or with trellis and things.
I think the Corten's lovely, but you can have too much of it.
Yeah.
It can feel a bit like a fortress.
Yes, it would.
I was going to say, it could be a bit prison-like.
I think. Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think some Corten and then some lovely green or something floral would be great. Yeah,
Okay, very cool.
So just thinking for Sweetpea, who's the scribe for this, how are you planning to write that down?
So, first of all, I put a ha-ha, definitely both of you are having it. Then
absolutely,
Steve, you added your little bits. John, are you wanting to have that clematis wall and that little bit of Corten steel? or are you
That's
changing?
just for Steve.
I'm sticking with the ha-ha.
Just
You
a
got the
ha-ha entirely.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Brave.
Right. And the size of this. So a ha-ha isn't something typically you'd see on a mid or end terrace property. So are you imagining you're out in the countryside with rolling hills there, John?
Yes. The thing about a ha-ha is people can look in, but they can't get. That's fantastic.
Yes. Very nice.
So you can swank. But yeah, no, somewhere in the Sussex Weald would be fantastic.
So you're staying down there.
Yeah, some of the Sussex Weald.
And in fact, there are gardens in the NGS in Sussex that have ha-has.
Yeah.
Oh,
Modern,
really?
actually, there's the modern one, which is it's lined with flint. It's beautiful.
Wow.
And actually, for Court End Steel, the Fairlight's End, the garden we were at last week,
in Pet,
Pet, they use Court End beautifully to sort of define seating areas, and they use it to sort of terrace and things. It's lovely.
But again, so you mentioned about the heat for the clematis. If you've got that defining a seating area, is that not getting too hot?
It might do a bit.
I think I'm just with all these heat waves. I'm so averse now.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
So much reflected heat everywhere.
Yeah. Well, maybe I need to use the porcelain that we've got here that looks like Court End, but actually isn't, because the porcelain says cool.
There you go. Job done. And how many acres are you going to be having, John?
Gosh.
Your countryside abode.
2.
2 acres. That
2
seems
acres
a nice safe amount.
Nice
safe number of acres.
Yeah, it's enough to get lost in, but not so big that it's overwhelming.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
And do I take it that you're a bit, from a comment you made earlier about swanking about, are you a bit of an exhibitionist? Do you like to be seen?
No comment. Over to John.
Yeah, so we're going to have a swimming pool in it, obviously. Yeah.
Obviously.
And everyone can watch you.
And it could be fun. It could have an infinity edge into the ha-ha.
Into the ha-ha.
Yeah,
that'd be lovely.
Do you want that infinity edge to be one of those see-through edges?
No,
people can watch you swim.
No.
Okay.
I think
is that taking it too far?
Taking it too far. Yeah.
I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah.
What was I thinking?
Yeah, we need to keep to our roots.
Roll it back.
Yeah.
And Steve, you wanting the same amount of acres?
No, actually, I don't. Half an acre to an acre, I think would be good. I think much more than that, I think gets overwhelming, and you end up struggling to keep on top of it. So, although I suppose fantasy garden, I would probably have fantasy gardeners, so maybe that would be all right. But it's funny.
So that's always a question I have, because does one want one's garden completely private, not having people coming and going to sort it out, and therefore you keep it smaller, or are you happy to have your staff arriving each day and sorting it out?
I'm on the staff side, absolutely. And although it would be a couple of acres, an acre of it would be meadow. So
lovely.
Whilst that takes a lot of time to look after, I remember talking to Fergus Garrett at Dixter.
Oh yeah.
And what's your favourite bit? And he said, what's the most difficult bit to look after? He said, the meadow.
Oh, really?
Out of everything, the meadow, just keeping it in balance.
Yeah.
Because it's
about balance, isn't it?
difficult. You've got to be on it all the time to just
Yeah.
control the rattle, but then control anything else as well.
Yeah.
You're always about damping things down to maintain the balance that you want.
Well then, would you like a shed or a greenhouse if you had to choose between the two?
Oh, it's a choice between the two, is it?
I'm afraid so.
Yes.
But you are in the lucky position where there's 2 of you, so
I'm going to have one of each.
Greenhouse.
Shed.
Yeah, greenhouse. Can I just say we have 3 sheds in the
They're
garden?
small ones.
Do you? What's in your sheds?
One of them, the one behind the wall, which is only 4 foot by 3 foot, something. It's small. It's tools and kit. One of them is sort of barbecue stuff and potting stuff, and then the other one is plant supports and growing materials and propagation kit and things like that. So
Okay.
they're all small, and actually it sort of works. When you've got a small space, rather than having one big shed that dominates. Actually having 3 small ones dotted around the garden. I mean, you need to say I've got a pair of secateurs in each shed and a trowel in each shed, so there's always one close to hand, and a dustpan and brush. That's the one I've learned the hard way. Just so there's something too easy. Yeah, there's always something close to hand.
Yeah. So, but also I can see with 3 small ones, you're not wading through a load of stuff to get to the thing at the back, are you? It's all just
absolutely.
reach in, grab.
Yeah, the shed that we used to have was a decent size, but whatever you wanted, it was always at the back.
Always at the back.
And it was the room of requirement.
It
was like, you'd eventually find what you needed in there somewhere.
And it was also the National Sussex Spider Sanctuary.
Oh yes. How are you both with spiders?
I'm okay.
I don't like them.
You don't like them?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to have a greenhouse for John.
Mm-hmm. A black framed greenhouse.
Black framed. A particular make that you have lusted over in magazines?
No, just a
black
simple, unadorned, straightforward.
Iron framed or aluminium framed or wood?
No, an aluminium framed.
Black aluminium.
Coated aluminium. And I have to say, if you're going to have a greenhouse, a misting bench, heated bench and misting bench would be tremendous. Would be fantastic because then propagation suddenly becomes, a very different game.
Yeah. Wow. So what size are we going then? You want a pretty decent size.
Yeah, and one with decent head height. Yes.
Oh well, you can have any height.
You look at some of Monty's greenhouses on Gardens World. The one he keeps pelargoniums and things in. You think,
the size of our house.
I'd like one of those, please, but they're enormous.
Be all right, wouldn't it? Yeah. So something like Monty's then.
Yeah, not the huge glass house that he has tomatoes in, but he has quite a nice walking on, which is
the one where he stores all the pelargoniums.
Yeah,
it's a pretty one, isn't it? It's a bit more ornate, that one, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, very cool. And then Steve, for your shed.
Somewhere clearly storage, somewhere to sit, a radio preferably, but also what I would want is proper height working benches. So many workbenches and potting shelves and things are too low because when you're a 6 foot bloke, it's like actually a lot of them are quite low. Because one of the things we have in the garden here, although it's funny, it didn't appear on Gardens World, is we have it's actually an old catering kitchen and it's clad with the same black cladding as the house. So it's stainless steel. It has a sink with running water and drainage and things, and then it has a big flat stainless steel surface. Yeah, and it's because it's professional kitchen height that is higher than a table.
Yeah,
so it's a really great height to work on.
What a great idea! Where did you get that from?
We bought it. We found it was a really dodgy geezer up in Burgess Hill
somewhere near Henfield.
Yeah.
down the lane,
cash only.
Yeah. And when we were walking around the site to look at them because they were scattered around, there were porta cabins with things going on, but he closed the door.
Oh my god!
So I don't know.
Yeah, but actually,
it's a bit like Breaking Bad.
Yeah. But I know our garden designer was when I said I'm going to get an old catering kitchen. He was a bit like, what? But it was actually then it
was £200.
£200, and it's got a very nice big sink with running water, drinking water. So it is so useful, and also it's then sort of the cladding is also around the barbecue. So it can then be a sort of kitchen area as well. So,
had you seen this idea somewhere before then? Did it just come to you in a moment of
inspiration?
We'd gone to, was it Kirkenhof?
Yes.
In Kirkenhof in Holland, the
bulb garden.
But once you get beyond the decorative displays, there's all sorts of other stuff going on. And there were some very, very funky
concrete kitchens.
Yeah, concrete and steel kitchens.
Right.
And units that you put together, just like you put together a domestic interior kitchen. They were fantastic.
Yeah.
And we were looking at them and like, well, clearly we're not going to have one of those, but we could wish. But then we thought, well, actually, it does look like a catering kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that gives you the idea.
Really well. It works really well.
It sounds like a really, really good idea. We did actually see it on your Instagram after the episode. Because you have no idea that it exists from what they filmed.
No, it's odd. There were certain areas of the garden just didn't appear.
Yeah.
When it was such a small garden, you just sort of assumed it would all...
the whole lot would be in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Interesting. I'm quite inspired by that idea. I can see how well that would work, for sure.
Yeah.
So you're having that in your dream garden then? Outside... Are you having... we were talking about heights of workbenches.
So if I'm going to have my dream shed, it would have all the benches and things would be at a good height. I'd also want windows, so actually you could then use the shed for a bit of propagation and things. So,
okay. Yeah. And how many people do you want to be able to seat in your shed? Are you thinking you want to... Just you. Yeah. So just
maybe a seat for John as well, but
Oh, that's nice.
Kind.
Isn't he nice?
Thoughtful.
I'm quite happy in my greenhouse. Yeah. So the greenhouse would have, you'd be able to plant into the earth on one side of it. That's really important.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, units which would allow higher working surfaces and storage and some staging and some small shelves to be able to put cacti and small decorative elements around so that you can see those as well.
Are you sitting in your greenhouse as well?
Yeah.
You're going to have a chair in there
and
a kettle? Oh no, it was a radio, wasn't it? You're having a radio.
Steve's got a radio, so I've got Spotify.
Okay.
and my portable espresso maker.
Yes, that's true.
Oh, excellent! Yes. So electricity to this.
Yeah, so I need a USB socket to charge it.
And healthy Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I'll use the cooler that's in Steve's shed.
Okay.
To store milk in. Automatic louvers and vents. Obviously.
Yes, of course. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah.
And quickly, Steve, what colour is your shed going to be painted, if painted at all, frankly?
Probably black, actually, because it does help hide it, and it's interesting. It recedes. We were at a garden in the National Garden Scheme just along the coast on Saturday or Sunday, and they had painted their sheds black, and it was really interesting. They just disappeared.
Yeah.
It was really. I think it's
I'm really on board with it.
Yeah, people are scared of black, but actually it can be a really good colour.
And one of the sheds they painted black, and the pitch was like on the length of the shed, so the door was in the middle, black. But either side they'd put wood battens, like a fence, but not like a fence. And that just broke the whole thing up. It was really clever, and it was a bit Miami as well. They looked really good. It looked really good.
I like it. The first time I saw things being painted black was on Gardener's World a couple of years ago. I can't remember his name, but he was a florist. He used to do really pretty floral arrangements in kind of test tubes, and he'd put one bloom in each test tube, which really inspired us. We then promptly bought a load of test tubes and started doing the same thing. But he painted all his fences black. And when he first said it, I thought, oh, crikey, not sure about that. And then you see it, and it just is striking. All the plants against it, they really stand out, don't they? And that just recedes behind. So
the architects wanted us to paint the entire perimeter of the garden black.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
But we did bulk at it, because there's a very lovely bungarouche wall.
Yes, I was going to say you got that.
It's just full of texture and really, really lovely. So we did want, so we didn't.
I did like that on the wall. There's, am I remembering correctly? There's sort of some rendering that's coming away.
Yes,
and then you see the brickwork.
And what's underneath is this very specific material called bungarouche, which is specific to Brighton and this area of the South Downs, and it's basically anything they could get hold of. So old bricks, bits of flint, bits of rubbish, and lime mortar. A lot of the houses in Brighton are built of it, and it's a complete nightmare to live with, because you can't drill a hole in it.
Yeah,
it just collapses.
Bay
windows keep falling off front of houses because they're so
and the walls sort of bulge.
Yeah. So thankfully our house is new, so it's not built of that. But the back wall is. I mean, it's an amazing habitat, because it's just full of holes and nooks and crannies. So insects and things love it.
Yeah, we do have when it starts to warm up. Early March. The solitary bees come out. We have a lot of them, which is really great. Yeah.
Well, then, what would be your 5 favourite ornamentals for your dream garden?
I would probably go tropical, because I do love tropical ornamentals. And we used to have bananas and things in the old garden. We don't in this garden, partly for space reasons. Although part of me is itching to take apart our back bed and completely replant it with tropicals. But
he's not going to.
No, clearly. No. But, Musa Baju, Musa skimiensis, Tetrapanax, Paulownias, and then cannas, gingers, all those sorts of things. And go for a really big leaf, big colour, all that sort of thing.
Gorgeous.
I do love. Yeah.
So why are you not going to do this in the garden?
We don't have the space. At the moment, I would love to, but we don't have the space. Yeah, these things. We just don't. The beds just aren't deep enough, unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay.
So to really go to town, or you'd end up encroaching so much on the seating and dining areas that. Yeah. And the other problem is the side beds are too shady, because all those need. They're all sun lovers.
Yeah.
And the side beds are too shady. So which was actually where it would make more sense space-wise to do that. But I don't think they thrive.
Okay. And John?
I think spiky, tropical, palmy I love cannas.
Yeah. Cannas are
and
gorgeous.
And I adore being a Bonoriensis, so we'd obviously have a lot of that.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Dahlias?
Yeah, not sure.
You're sort of going off dahlias.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
Are they
Palms, certainly,
yesterday's
actually.
news? Why are you going off the dahlias?
I know I'm not. No, I'm not going off. But if it were,
because we know what you did about the hardy geraniums, so you don't want the dahlias to have the same fate.
I've stumped on all of those. Like the dream one, I suppose a wall of dahlias would be nice. I'm just thinking of the sun and the sun casting great shadows and the sun shining through leaves, and that's my
dapple lights and
that's the image, because my garden would be in Crete, so there is that.
Oh, hold on, your garden's in Crete now.
It would be. Mine is in Crete. Yeah.
It's just
no,
up
it's
to
not.
move.
It's in the Sussex Weald, but it's that Cretan feel.
Okay.
So it's quite rustly and quite spare.
Yeah. And so a lot of foliage, tall foliage, which I think, with everything getting warmer, that's going to be more and more helpful to have that, isn't it?
Yes. I think the difference would be I go lush, you go spiky.
Yes.
Right.
So, I love a glaucous silver palm and things like that. Beautiful.
Yeah.
But yes, I think that's probably the difference. Is I go big leaf lushness. You go spiky.
Yeah. Shadow casters, dryness.
Yeah.
And agaves.
Yes.
As well.
Yeah.
Agave.
Would you like an agave?
Yeah.
You could have a Poachelensis, which grows. It was on Gardener's World on a coastal place in Salcombe, and we actually went and visited it. So it likes the coastal vibe, and it grows very, very tall. It's quite a brutal, spiky, very spiky, and the old wives' tale is that it will, in the desert, it will trap mammals. So if a goat's going near it, it'll get caught in all the spikes, and then it dies, and then fertilizes the plant.
Oh yes,
wow!
And then it throws up a huge flower spike every 7 years or something.
We've just found photos.
That's completely brilliant. Yes.
Would you like that in your garden?
Oh, I'd certainly want one of those. Yeah, or 3.
And then what happens with the nectar, sweetie?
You can drink it. There's enough nectar for you to literally take one kind of tubular flower, get a teaspoon, and you have a perfect teaspoon amount of nectar per flower.
Wow. Yes. It's funny because in the old garden we used to have Eryngium Physic Purple, Chelsea Physic Purple, which is the really, really spiky one. And it's an amazing plant. It's a complete nightmare to have in a flower bed because it's so sharp. And I've still got the scars on my legs where if you walk past it.
You admire it from afar.
Yeah.
Then, what would be your 5 favourite edible plants?
In a dream garden, I would love some fruit trees because it's one of the things we don't really have the space for here, a lot of fruit trees don't cope well with pots. Green gages, plums, damsons, pears.
So no tropical fruits.
I'd grow peaches.
Yes,
peaches
that's
and
true.
Nectarines.
Peaches and nectarines. Yes.
Okay.
And olives.
Olives, lovely.
Just because the olive trees are so beautiful.
Yeah, and actually lemons. The citrus of lemons and oranges.
And kumquats.
Yeah, kumquats.
Oh my gosh,
So lemon trees, I imagine, do pretty well in Brighton.
They do. We have had lemon trees in the past.
They've survived.
They survived 2 or 3 years.
3 years,
Yeah, I don't think I looked after it properly in the greenhouse over the winter.
So imports then.
Yeah.
Oh, it had to go in the greenhouse. Could you not leave that out?
It would have been a risk, I think. Yeah.
Because the cold here comes from cold wind rather than cold air. So it would be a bit much. Yeah.
On the Isle of Wight, have been to Ventnor. They've got they're doing very well with their citrus now.
Yeah.
But you're not quite the same climate as them.
Don't think we're quite the same. I mean, again, because we're up a hill, so we're at a certain amount of height. But I mean, I don't know. They might have tried. They might survive. I mean, actually, we have had aeoniums and things which have accidentally stayed out of the winter and they've been fine.
It's just the risk.
It's the risk.
Right?
Yeah.
You just don't know.
Yeah.
All you need is 1 week of southern cold and it's gone.
Yeah. So, I can understand that.
I'd also want lots of rhubarb.
Rhubarb, yeah.
I do like a rhubarb.
raspberries.
And rhubarb would look nice in your tropical area as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it would.
Would
go well.
Yeah, raspberries are a must.
Raspberries very nice.
Yes. And a mixture of summer fruiters and autumn fruiters, because at the moment we've only got summer ones. We haven't got space for any autumn ones. So
Absolutely.
We've eaten a lot.
We've got lots in the freezer as well.
And we made jam. I made jam.
Oh, really? So you get a good load of them then?
Oh, had loads and loads.
Yeah.
Where have you got that growing in your garden?
Yeah.
They're at the end of the greenhouse. They're in a bed outside the end of the greenhouse.
How many bushes have you got?
6, maybe. I mean, to be honest, the canes have wandered, so it's quite hard to actually see them as individual plants these days. And actually, they've started pushing up through the floor of the greenhouse and things.
All right.
They're clearly wandering.
But the space is sort of 6 foot by 3 foot.
Something like that.
They're in,
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, lovely. So enough to make. How many pots of jam are you making from that then?
I made 7. I made
Great.
3.5 pounds.
And that was just one of the
That
harvests.
was one harvest. Yeah.
Oh my
we
God.
had several decent harvests.
Oh, very successful.
But I do the thing of getting a baking tray and putting the raspberries separately so that they freeze separately, and then they free flow. Fiddly, but worth the time.
Wait, what do you mean? What's that?
So when you're freezing raspberries, you put them individually, on their bottom, on a tray, so they don't touch.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then put the tray flat in the freezer so they freeze individually.
Yeah.
And then you can put them in a bag, but they come out individually, so you don't have a dollop of raspberry.
Oh, I see.
You put them all in the bag and freeze the bag.
just
so you
mush
have
together.
one lump.
So you have a bag of separately frozen raspberries,
Oh,
That's
amazing.
nice.
That's a good
which
idea.
are delicious.
Yeah.
And they're very nice to put in a glass of something.
Yeah.
Yes, of
Midwinter
course.
to be able to have fresh raspberries, for example.
Yes.
Oh, sweet pea. We
And
should
then
start
nice
freezing out
put on
like
top
that.
of put on top of the icing on a sponge cake.
Yes.
Some years we've made raspberry gin, but actually we haven't
We
done that
have,
this year.
yes.
How do you make that?
You just so you buy a bottle of relatively cheap gin, because you actually don't want anything with too much flavour, and then you macerate it so you put the raspberries in and leave it for. Raspberries is a relatively quick one.
It's a short one.
It's a month, 6 weeks. We've flavoured lots of gins over the years. Haw gin is really good. So you collect haws off hawthorn trees when they're ripe, and that needs a long maceration. That's a sort of 4 or 5 months.
They're tough old things.
Tough things, but it's a lovely drink.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a sharper than slow gin.
Yeah, and ruby red. It's the most amazing colour.
Really?
We made beetroot vodka one year.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
wow.
brown.
It did turn a
Did it
bit
go brown?
brown.
Oh,
but
that's
it
disappointing.
made a really interesting sort of vodka and tonic.
It did.
Yeah.
What does that taste like though? Very
Beetroot.
earthy.
It's so slightly
Yeah.
earthy. Yeah.
It's a beetroot.
It would have made
it was a bit odd, but nice.
We should have made Bloody Marys with it, because it would have made a really good Bloody Mary.
I think it would have been nice in a cocktail with a vanilla liqueur. That would have been
something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't imagine beetroot vodka. I mean, I love
No.
beetroot. Not a fan of vodka, really.
Yeah, make it with gin. But
I would imagine I'd want something sweeter with my vodka.
yeah, the beetroot has a natural sweetness.
But we had a tasting evening, and it was universally enjoyed
Yes.
on the first glass.
Yes, we
as
were all
well.
about, okay, let's just give this a whirl.
Yeah. It was. Oh no, I will have another one. Thank you.
Then what would be your one statement tree?
Do you know?
No.
No.
Okay.
Oh.
I know what yours is though.
Oh, do you? Go on then.
A silver bird.
Well, I have written down, I've got 2, a multi-stemmed white trunk silver birch. I love.
Oh.
I
Very
would
pretty.
dearly love one of those. The other one I'd written down is a liquid amber,
Oh,
I love
stunning.
because they are just the most. I mean, that autumn colour is just. But even during summer, they're lovely.
Really
But
beautiful.
a multi-stemmed silver birch I would love.
Do you have any trees in your garden? Currently?
Not really. We have our next door neighbour has an olive tree, quite a big olive
lovely.
tree up against our fence. So that sort of is we benefit from that.
That's
And
nice.
there's a big ash tree outside the front gate. In the garden itself, we've got a columnar purple beech, Dorwicks purple, which actually was a gift from an association I had been chair of. And that's growing slowly but surely.
In the ground.
In the ground, yeah.
Yeah.
But we don't, part of me would quite like to have a small tree in there just to add some more structure and some height and things, but we don't really have the height or the right conditions for it. And I've looked at trees in pots and things, and most of them just don't really, it's a compromise.
Yeah.
So,
Do you have much in pots? Apart from the tomatoes.
Quite a lot. Yeah, all our aeoniums are in pots.
Of course, yeah.
So we've got salad leaves in pots at the moment. I don't tend to go for traditional bedding. So the other problem is everything in pots has to be absolutely snail proof. Because we have a lot of snails, and that's our biggest pest, really. Well, that and foxes.
Oh,
so
foxes get into your garden?
Oh, yeah. They come over the 6 foot fence very, very easily.
Really?
Yeah. Drives the dog mental.
Yeah, I bet it does.
Yeah.
But the pots at the front have got things like Verbena Bampton, a purple bedding Ipomea, Calendula Black Prince, Salvia Amistad. So things that are snail proof, not necessarily traditional bedding, but things that just add a strong colour and strong texture.
We also in the new garden agreed that we wouldn't have lots of pots because they take so much time looking after and watering, and they're not really sustainable.
We've been cutting down a lot in pots because it's just not sustainable, is it?
No, and the thing is, if you have fewer bigger pots, it looks better as well. I think it's better on the eye
for sure.
Sorry to go back to trees. I like trees when they're in woods and forests.
So would you have a woodland then?
That would be amazing. I have a couple of acres of ancient woodland.
Ancient woodland
next to my garden. So
nice.
Single trees, I'm not sure. Maybe an oak because they just
what would
look
be like
so
the one?
astonishing.
Yeah,
an oak. Yeah,
or you could have a palm tree.
Yeah,
or
you
could. Yeah.
Your tropical vibe.
Okay, I'll put oak or palm tree.
I'm getting confused. In the fantasy garden. Yeah.
Then, would you like a pond or a pool, and what plant would you have in that area?
So when you say pool, are you meaning swimming pool or just an area of water?
It's defining between something that you don't really swim in and something that you could possibly swim in. But
a wild swimming lake would be amazing.
Exactly.
That would be
covers
terrific,
all bases.
because then you've got areas of wildlife, you've got pond life, but the ability to actually get in and enjoy the water and
cool off
would be amazing. Yes.
You're having a boat on your lake?
Yes, I think that would be and an island, so you've got somewhere to row to.
Yeah. Sounds good.
And, yes, and then you maybe you sit on the island and have a glass of wine, and then row gingerly back
on the jetty.
We could have a ferry, that you pull yourself.
Oh yes, a channel. Pull yourself across. Yes,
that's a good idea.
Or maybe you've got a rotor thing on the middle of the boat that the chain comes through. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Or a pedalo.
Very cool.
Yes.
Yeah. That is deeply uncool, but great fun.
It is deeply uncool.
Is it
I don't think
like
anyone.
I was just going to say,
does it have a slide off the back?
Pedalo. You must have a slide off the back of your pedalo.
Oh my gosh! I don't think anyone looks cool on one of those. No matter what you're doing.
No.
Okay, and John, what are you going for?
This is really tough, isn't it? I would go. A big part of me would go for a really managed rectangular pool that's really cool around the edge with some sort of statuesque things. But
the infinity pool that you talked about.
Yeah. But
oh yes.
Well, you kind of already have that. So
I do some work with a place called Furness Brook, which is near Helsham in East Sussex.
When you say you did some work, what work?
Well, I work in the voluntary sector, and we do a lot of work on addressing the climate crisis and water remediation and soil health to improve the environment and grow better food and build a sustainable food system. So that's a lot of the work that I'm involved in. But Furness Brook, which is or has been a coarse fishery, is one of the most beautiful places I can think of. They have a lake which is glorious, and it has an island that you can camp on. So in my head, I'll be like, I'll have Furness Brook. Actually, because the lake and the island exist already. Yeah.
I see. So no rectangular swimming pool, a lake with an island.
No, probably not. Although really hankers that. If I were in Crete, it would have a pool.
Yeah.
The first ha-ha on the island as well.
Yeah, exactly. The thing is, John has found a loophole where you can sneak in a swimming pool. At no point did I say in the garden boundary you don't talk about a swimming pool.
That's true.
Oh my gosh.
You have put it in. Yes. You have to find the loopholes with these things. And in life in general.
Breaking.
Yeah.
John, what are you trying to do?
So we're trying to break the format here.
Well, it's more that you're trying to leave my daughter astray.
I'm afraid so, yeah.
And what plants were you choosing to have in those areas?
I want a water lily that actually flowers.
What colour?
Probably some apricot. one of those sort of, something like that, sort of apricot orange.
Do you know what yours is meant to be, where you are?
It is that sort of colour range, and I can't remember the name of the cultivar, but something in that
Pretty.
sort of...
Very nice.
Or one of those sort of beautiful ivories.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Very nice.
And John?
I like reeds.
Okay.
And papyrus and those sort of... I really like the border plants that grow in sort of squish around the edge of ponds.
Yeah.
In the squish.
And they're really interesting. I think that habitat is really interesting, the way it ebbs and flows and survives and looks like it's dried out and then comes back again.
Yeah.
It's absolutely fascinating.
So you got that in the squish, sweetie?
In the squish.
It's a technical term.
It's very technical. Well, final question is, what would be your favourite seating area, drink to have and plant to have by your side?
Do you know?
I like sitting up. I'm not a lounger.
Oh, okay.
So my seats are proper. They're quite upright. They're quite upright, yeah.
Yeah.
They can have cushions, but they're definitely upright. They're not
wooden.
No. Metal. Yeah, metal and a cushion. Yeah.
So are we okay, so
what are we talking?
So we saw in your garden you've got those orange seats. And is that the sort of thing you're thinking of?
Those are dining table seats. So I'm thinking, Bauhaus chairs, the chrome and leather ones.
Oh, right.
That are sort of that shape that you can sit in, but you sit up properly. That sort of thing, not Bauhaus ones, because that would be deeply impractical.
Yeah.
But, that sort of Miami sort of cool, understated.
Bauhaus-like chairs.
Yeah.
Right.
Just something functional and dark that you can sit relatively up in with a wide arm that you can put your drink on.
Yeah. Whereabouts in your Crete, Sussex garden is this going to be?
Yeah, that's going to be near the greenhouse, so you can see the lovely things in the greenhouse.
Okay.
But with the pool quite close, so you've got wildlife that you can see buzzing in and around.
The lake?
Yeah, the dragonflies. Yeah.
That'd be nice by the lake.
And what will you be drinking?
Dry white wine.
Dry white.
A particular one? Or just any dry white wine?
Just anything from the Languedoc, really. That's my favourite.
Absolutely. And what plant will you have in that area or next to you?
Goodness.
So you're thinking of something fragrant maybe, or some people like the noise of grasses?
I was thinking, yes, grasses rustling are really lovely. Yeah. What do I like?
Well, I would have said dahlias, but you've poo-pooed that. So.
I'd have
something fragrant. I mean, a herb like you like thymes.
Yes, I do.
And rosemary.
I do.
And
yes.
What about some mountain
lavender
tea?
Oh gosh, yes, mountain tea growing.
Oh, let's go with mountain tea because we haven't had that one before. I don't think.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is the name of the herb. It's called mountain tea.
And what does it smell like?
Greek.
Mountain tea.
Yeah, you make because you then make tea out of it, which is lovely. But
it smells of Crete. That's
when hot summer.
When the air you open the villa door and you go that's it.
Oh. Yeah,
it smells of Crete, just like Italy sort of smells of olive oil and lemons.
Yeah,
Crete what it smells of is mountain tea because it grows wild. Yeah.
Very cool.
Lovely.
It's quite savoury. It's sort of it's sagey, herby, that sort of lemon.
Yeah.
Have you had it in tea?
Oh yes.
Yeah. Because you can buy it. You can buy it in tea bags, but you can also buy it
in big
dry bunches and things. So, but if it's in your garden, just pick it direct.
I buy it from a Greek wholesaler and then a pot of it, which is
it's very sort of calming and soothing.
It is very, very good. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I definitely have mountain tea.
Yeah. That's a good choice.
I would have plants which cast fabulous shadows on the paving.
Yeah.
I get great pleasure from that. Yeah. Is it what do we have in the small bed under the window that casts such? It's not the lictrums. That cast
Tithonias.
No, the small ones that came from the hardy plant.
Oh, Anthriscus raven's wings.
That casts the most fabulous shadow.
Anthriscus, it's an umbel. It's a black-stemmed umbel.
Oh, okay.
Anthriscus raven's wing.
So it looks fantastic, but because it's got great clarity in the structure, the shadow is as good as the plant.
Yeah, it's very sharp.
Just a lovely, lovely thing. So I really like that. I really like where palms cast shadows.
How tall is that? That's a beautiful plant.
3 foot.
Yeah, a metre at the metre tops.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, nice. I like that a lot.
And it gently self-sows, so it's nice.
It's a really, really lovely plant.
Yeah.
Right,
really
look out for that one. I do love umbels. Just the
and
amount
the white flower on a black, really dark black stem.
Striking.
It's really, really striking. Yeah.
Fantastic. And buzzing, I imagine, all the time.
Yeah. It's really lovely. Yeah.
Perfect.
And Steve, what are we going for?
So my seating, I think, would be a sofa,
Oh, lovely.
long enough to lie on,
very
snooze
horizontal.
on, but also up, but not saggy. But up, so you can sit up and drink and chat and things. But I think a sofa, somewhere to lounge. Would be what I'd go for.
So when you're saying a sofa, are you thinking of outdoor? Because this is your dream garden, so you could have an indoorsy style sofa outside.
No, I think an outdoors one, a bit like, Johnson used the word a bit sort of Miami style.
Okay.
There's been a lot of stuff around the last few years with sort of big metal frame cushions. I don't like rattan. No. I'm not going that route.
So metal frame then?
Yeah, metal frame, really beautifully upholstered cushions that don't go green.
It's a dream garden. They don't.
Yeah,
rot.
we've got a couple of sofas in the garden, which they're actually from John Lewis, but then you can just about lie out on them, but they're not big and luxurious. They're sort of we have the space for something big and that you can lounge on. But you can also have lots of people sat on, which I think it's always good to be sociable.
Yeah, sociable as well.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
What colour are your cushions?
Probably a grey, or maybe a vibrant orange, or we're not scared of orange in the garden, or a bright pink or something like that. So maybe a grey with a selection of bright orange and pink scatter cushions or something.
Oh,
like that.
I like that.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Very cool. I like that. And then what will you be drinking?
Rosé, dry Provence rosé.
Dry.
Also from France.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, very cool. And what will be your plant of choice?
I would have sweet peas. I love sweet peas.
Yes.
I approve.
One of my earliest gardening memories is my grandfather used to grow sweet peas because my grandmother adored them in the house. And I can remember he used to have just rows and rows and rows of them in the garden. And the smell of them just puts me straight back in his garden even now.
Yeah.
So I always have to grow sweet peas. So I would want sweet peas.
A happy memory.
Ideally, put sweet peas that last all year, and
they will.
That sort of.
They will here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I am going to attempt to read
good luck with
both
this,
of your
Sweetpea.
dream gardens at the same time.
Jolly good luck.
My notes are looking beautiful at the moment. Arrows going everywhere. So for the garden boundary, Steve, first of all, we're going with a ha-ha. That's the main event, attraction. A bit of a cotton steel area. Clematis wall, where you have at least one plant flowering every month of the year, ideally. Then you're going for about either half an acre to an acre size. John, we're definitely going with Crete, Sussex, but 2 acres, first of all. You're also having a ha-ha and an affinity pool as well in there.
Yeah.
So we're definitely going with that.
Yeah.
Then, for shed or greenhouse, Steve, you're going with a shed, preferably in black. Storage space, but also where you can have a radio seating area for you, maybe one for John, who knows. Proper height working benches, lots of windows so you can do a bit of propagating. John, you're having a greenhouse, automatic windows, seating, Spotify, your espresso maker, plants in the ground on one side, units, surfaces on the other with shelves for little cacti. You're going to have a black frame, quite simple, aluminium. It's going to be kind of the shape of Monty's Pelargonium greenhouse. Yep. And you're going to have a misting bench as well. That was added in by Steve.
Yes.
Then 5 ornamentals. Steve, we're going tropical. So we're going all the mousses, lots of banana plants, tetrapanics, paulownias, cannas and gingers.
Yep.
John, cannas as well, Verbena bonariensis, palms, agaves and the Puya chilensis, mainly lots of spiky and shade casting plants.
Yes.
Excuse me. The 5 edibles, we did a whole mix. It went up to about 10. Approximately. Green gages, plums, rhubarb, damsons, pears, peaches, lemons, olives, kumquats, raspberries, autumn and summer flowering. Then your one tree, Steve, either a multi-stem silver birch or a liquid amber. And John, you wanted an ancient woodland, so either an old oak, or a palm tree.
Yes.
My notes are crazy. Then
it's more of a concept garden.
Yes,
it's a concept garden.
It is, exactly. Then, Steve, you're wanting a wild swimming lake with a boat and an island, or a little pedalo with a slide on the back.
Absolutely.
And a water lily that actually flowers and that kind of apricot-y colour, or possibly an ivory white, who knows.
Yes.
John, you're wanting the funnest brook, lake and island, lots of resin papyrus in the squishy area, specifically. Steve, you wanted a sofa which is upright but loungy at the same time, long enough to lie down on, metal frame upholstered cushions, orange, pink and grey, a dry Provence rosé and sweet peas. And John, you're wanting a very upright metal seating area with cushions as well, but kind of Bauhaus-like chairs, quite dark, a wide armrest next to the pool, but also next to the greenhouse. You're having a dry white long dock wine and either a mountain tea, either mountain tea plant or Anthriscus raven's wing.
Yeah, nice.
There we go.
Wow. Well done,
Sweetpea.
Well done for that.
Amazing. Well, leave that with us. It may take some time.
It takes many years.
Yes.
But we can also see your real garden sooner than that, can't we? Because
Yes,
yours is open through the NGS as well.
Yeah. So we are opening for 2 Sundays in August, Sunday the 9th and Sunday the 23rd.
Yeah.
And because it's a small garden, we are doing timed tickets, so timed pre-book tickets, rather than just throwing open the garden gate.
Cool.
So there are 6 hour-long slots across each day with 12 tickets for each slot. So there are only 72 tickets on each for each day.
Okay.
And in fact, the first 2 hours on the first day have already sold out.
Whoa.
So all the details are on the NGS website. If you search Brighton for the opening the next month, I think we're the only garden in Brighton opening the next month.
Okay.
You'll find us on there. And we're doing tea and cake and plant sales. We'll have aeoniums for sale and all sorts of things. So
I think the most important question on Sweetpea's lips, I'll say it because she'll be too coy to ask. What cake?
Yes.
Vanilla sponge with garden raspberries. Lemon drizzle, obviously. Double espresso Brazil nuts.
Oh my gosh.
Rose and
cardamom.
And a Greek brownie recipe which has grape molasses in it.
Oh my word!
And the Rocky Road.
Oh, you're making
s'mores mash up, which is marshmallows and digestive biscuits and peanuts. So you've got this sort of saltiness as well as the chocolate and all this stuff. So,
and I must make flourless, so a gluten-free orange and almond cake.
You're making all of these?
Yes. We've already started.
Some of them are in the freezer
already. Yeah.
Wow. And homegrown raspberries, I assume.
Yeah.
All frozen individually.
Yeah. Dotted around the top. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, even if you're not into gardens, it's worth it for cake.
It's worth it for cake.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you both so much for your time. I really loved hearing your dream gardens and hearing about the Hardy Plant Society. It sounds a fantastic society to be a part of.
Yeah, do look it up. If I can give the plug, it's hardy-plant.org.uk if people want to have a look and find that.
We'll add that to our website. I think we've already added it to the recap episode that we did. That was episode 12. So it can be found there. But also we'll add it to your page and we'll add the NGS links as well.
Brilliant.
Great.
That's been a good old chit-chat with Steve and John.